So I hope you don't mind that I'm sharing the frame with this unwieldy beast known as Philodendron Golden Dragon. So this is a cultivated variety, and I actually don't know what the parentage is, but I love the leaf shape. This is maybe one of my favorite cultivated varieties just on account of the leaf shape that you could see here. So yes, it looks like a little bit more of a dragon head if you have a little bit more of the imagination here. So if you're actually growing this and you know the parentage of this plant, then please chime in. You know, maybe it has a little bit more of squamiferum. I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't have a fuzzy petiole. It has a very clean green petiole. And if you could see here, it has these little aerial roots that are sticking out, and you could probably see some aerial roots along here on this big woody stem. And that means it's actually easily propagatable. So I have a really good episode on propagating philodendron that I did with Enid from NSE Tropical. So if you need to take a look at that, then feel free. But otherwise, you could just like snip it behind the node, which is something I will probably end up doing with this one because it is a beast and it needs to be cut back. And maybe it'll actually kind of be a little bit more healthy growing too, because this one was reaching a little bit more towards the light. And I actually have two of these growing in my house because I liked it so much. So I have one that is growing a little bit pulled back from my northeast facing window, which is this one. And then I have one that is growing in more of my southwest facing, not my southwest facing window, it's actually pulled back a little bit, and also under one of my grow lights called Soltech Solutions. That ends up getting a lot of sun, which is not always good because I found with this variety, it actually does turn a little bit more chlorotic, which means it turns yellow. Not always a good thing because that means the chlorophyll is being damaged. So you want to hide it back from some of that direct sun. So you want to give this a little bit more of a moderate light. As far as fertilizing goes, you'll give this a bit more of a well-balanced fertilizer. If you start to see it yellowing up and it's not because of the light or any kind of light damage, then you might want to up the fertilizer on the nitrogen side. So you might give it a 20-10-10 or a 10-10-10 or a 20-20-20 if you're going the organic route. More like a 1-1-1 or a 2-2-2. It just really depends on where you're going. The soil I have here is actually a very well draining soil, so it's a regular potting medium with some perlite in it. And I have it in a terracotta pot. Actually, both are in terracotta pots that I have. So that actually drains out really nicely, but that means I actually have to water this a little bit more frequently. And if you have seen on these leaves, you might see a little bit of kind of yellowing marks. I actually did have thrips pressure on this, which is unusual because most of the time my philodendrons don't have any kind of pest pressures, but for whatever reason, this cultivated variety definitely gets thrips, and I have that on both of my plants. But as you could also see, this is a very prolific grower, so it kind of like works through the thrips pressure, even though it has a little bit of challenges and maybe it's not as aesthetically pleasing on the leaves. But as you can see, it has no problem growing, and I'm going to be interested to see if it kind of pushes through the thrips pressure during the winter months. And but otherwise, really good one to grow, very easily propagatable, and a perfect one to share if you're at a plant swap.